Evening all, welcome to Carrow Road. It's finished Norwich City 2, Sheffield United 2, a point that in the end probably both teams will be fairly happy with. It was a real battle this afternoon. Sheffield United certainly will be happy. They've hit back twice to leave here with a point, and that means things at the top are pretty much unchanged, apart from Leeds fighting back to win at Rotherham 2-1. They were trailing 1-0 to Paul Warne's side, but did end up winning, so they're now 3 points clear of Norwich at the top. Sheffield United move up to third and are still 3 points behind Norwich, but of course West Brom in fourth have a game in hand. So in terms of the table, it's probably more damaging to Sheffield United because they still trail Norwich, but of course there's still a long way to go in this season. So to go through the big moments of the game, as I say, Norwich in the lead twice. Onel Hernandez took the lead, put Norwich in the lead in the 11th minute. Nice 1-2 with Teemu Pukki, put him straight through and fired low under the goalkeeper. Norwich at that point pretty much in control, but Sheffield United really hit back. To be fair, they deserved an equaliser and they did get it, but right at the death. A little bit of drama today, not too much. It came in the 3rd minute of injury time in the first half. Emi Buendia and Max Aarons got caught out a little bit on their side. Buendia desperately tried to get back, but just ended up barging Enda Stevens over. It was a fairly immature foul to give away at such a crucial point. Tim Krul tried to use his experience to really disrupt Billy Sharp, whipped up the Barkley, disrupted things as much as he could, got booked in the process as well for time wasting. And in the end, that meant that Billy Sharp just decided to absolutely smash the ball as hard as he could, and that gave Krul no chance. So the teams went in 1-1 at half-time. Christoph Zimmermann had already survived one scare in the first half when he seemed to take Gary Medine out in the box, and did eventually get booked and, well, cut it pretty close to getting a red card. Fairly bad tackle midway through the second half on John Fleck, nephew of former City striker Robert Fleck, of course. Only got booked for that, but then in the aftermath, as a bit of handbags were going off, he shoved Sharp to the ground. Sharp going down quite easily, but still he did shove him. By the letter of the law, the referee could quite easily have given him a second yellow. But Norwich had retaken the lead, and it was Teemu Pukki, as ever, 17th league goal of the season, 18 overall. We don't need to talk about how good Teemu Pukki is. We've done that plenty already. 57th minute, Tom Tribal was teed up for a chance to shoot, but decided to pass instead. Got a little bit lucky with the deflection out to Max Aarons on the right. Low cross from Aarons, and Pukki with a delightful little scoot finish over the defender, over the keeper into the far side of the net. Norwich 2-1 up, and all of a sudden it was probably against the run of play, but so it was more signs of relief from the home crowd, to be honest. And Sheffield United just carried on in the way they go. They're very intense, they're very well organised, and they were on Norwich all the time and tried to make midfield as congested as possible, and that stopped Vrancic and Tribal from dominating things as much as they did in the game against Birmingham. But the Blades were much, much better than Birmingham were last week, no doubt about that. The equaliser came in the 79th minute. Mark Duffy came off the bench, replaced Kieran Dow. Lovely deep cross from the right. Norwich were chasing shadows by that point, being given a bit of a run around, and Sharp drifted into a bit of space at the back post, nodded down from close range. Tim Krul no chance. Max Aarons and Christoph Zimmermann caught out to an extent. Looked like we could have another dramatic finale in the offing at Carrow Road. Which way it was going to go, we didn't know, but it wasn't really in the end. 5 minutes of added time. That was really bitty. Sheffield United probably purposeful as much as they could. Norwich didn't make their changes till late. It was the 89th minute. Todd Cantwell, Jordan Rhodes came on for Emi Buendia and Marco Stiepermann, and that didn't really work out, to be honest. Didn't really make too much of a difference, not too much in terms of chances. So in the end, there wasn't that late Carrow Road drama that everyone was sort of thinking, here we go again, as we entered those 5 minutes of injury time. But there we go, 2-2. I don't think either team's going to be too disappointed. Just listening to Daniel Farke and had a word with Christoph Zimmermann, and they are disappointed to have twice let the lead slip with 2 City goals, but I think overall they can appreciate that a draw is probably fair enough overall. So it's on to Leeds next week. That's going to be a really tough game. As I said, they won at Rotherham, so they are back in control at the top after that was 3 defeats in 4 in the league. So they are back on track, and that's going to be very, very difficult at Ellen Road. We know it's sold out already, so it's going to be a cracking game, but Norwich will need to play better than this. I wonder if they will need a bit more experience. Maybe it is time for Grant Hanley to come back in for Ben Godfrey, but that's a big game to chuck anyone into when they're not in their rhythm. So that would be a big ask of Grant, to be perfectly honest. The person who would have been perfect for today would have been Alex Tetty to break things up. Tribal did that really well. One block in particular, really good, which he took in the unmentionables, shall we say. But he really put himself about. But in the end, he was crowded out of the game largely, and I think Alex Tetty could have made a big difference. So whether he is fit or not could make a big difference at Ellen Road next weekend. And then, of course, we're back here for the derby 2 weeks tomorrow. So strap in, it's going to be a busy couple of weeks.